Today I want to talk to you about having a crush, specifically how to survive a crush, because I don't know about you, I feel like there's nothing that takes me down quite like having a crush. As much as it makes the world go round, it can be really difficult having a crush because you come up with all these crazy situations in your mind of like you breaking up with them, them breaking up with you, them falling in love with you, getting married, not getting married, bad things happening, good things happening. We go through all these crazy imaginations with having a crush because it's not quite real. It's in fantasy land. And we kind of get to stay in this fun fantasy land of emotion. So I want to talk about why a crush can destroy you and ultimately how to move through it and move past it. The harsh truth is, and I hold your hand as I say this, that it is easier to obsess over an irrelevant man than it is to transform and to give to your own life. If you are using large amounts of mental energy to fantasize about a guy, think about a life with them, good things happening, bad things happening, then you are taking your energy and putting it into something that doesn't exist. Something that's really important to note is that you don't obsess over a guy because you're weak. You obsess over a guy because you're brilliant, you have all this creative energy, and it really doesn't know where to go. So when you meet someone who's kind of interesting, kind of cool, you hone this energy into them instead of in your own life because it's a habit. Maybe you're familiar with longing for someone, with aching for someone, with not quite having what you want. And you build an identity around this. And this is the case for me. I feel like for so long, I've built an identity of not quite getting what I want, not quite being with the guy that I want, being the underdog, being poetic, being someone that people maybe even feel sorry for, where you feel sorry for you. You might have built an identity around longing and wanting a guy, and that is the perfect storm for a crush because you get to really hone into this whole identity that, oh, you're wounded, you want someone so bad and you can't have him. And like with all of my videos, I don't say that this is bad. This isn't bad. This is boring. It's a really boring way to live your life in some fantasy where you think you get a payoff, you think that you're moving things forward emotionally, you think that you're moving forward with your life in some way, but you're not. All of the aches and pains and progress that you go through in your mind in a fantasy of a crush is only in your mind. It is not real life. It is easy to stay in there. It is easy to get caught up in it. But ultimately, I want you to know next time you get into some creative fantasy in your mind, instead of saying, oh wow, this is really interesting, this happened, you're trying to predict the future, I want you to stop that loop and say, wait, this is boring. Am I stopping myself from living my life? Am I using this to hold myself back? It's almost like if you had the guy, then you would finally be able to live your life. And I just want you to know that is a lie. And again, it's boring. One other payoff that we get with this whole identity of longing, again, the poetic ache, never quite having him, being a little sad girl vibe. I say it because I know it. I've been here. I still am here sometimes. One thing we get out of that identity that we need to leave behind is attention. That if we are hurting, then they'll see me. If we feel misunderstood, then we'll look different or we'll look like we're not like other girls. Something lame and not true. This hurting identity has maybe been the only way that you've ever gotten attention from men or from other people. But again, I just want to say this identity that is built upon hurting and you not quite being you, it is a lie. It is not true. And I think that's what's so interesting about having a crush and really about any situation in life, and that this is what I talk about, things that happen in life that are always so much deeper than what they look like. You having an obsession with a crush seems like it's no big deal, but the truth is it's really unveiling where you are not giving to your own life, where you are not living your own life, where you are waiting for someone to choose you before you live your own life, and even bigger than that, where you have an identity that you are holding on to so dearly that needs to go. And it needs to go because it's not who you really are. Your obsession with a crush feels much safer than stepping into the life that you've always wanted to live. And it feels safer because, again, you maybe have built an identity out of it. You've built a habit out of it. You may be very familiar with your weaknesses and not familiar with your strength. And I just want to say this isn't bad, but it is boring. It is a really boring way to live your life. I know it because I've been there. I still get caught up in this. The truth is we can be kind of scared sometimes of being fully responsible for our own joy, because it's almost like if you are fully responsible for your own joy, then you are fully responsible for your own pain as well. Those two kind of go hand in hand. So it can be easier to have a crush. All of a sudden, you're not responsible for your own joy. Your joy is dependent on if they text you back, you know, if things are going well, whatever fantasy you've made up in your head, if it's going well or if it's going poorly in your fantasy, that is what your joy is dependent on when you have an unhealthy obsession with a crush. Now finally, what is the solution here? The solution to this is the solution to almost every single problem in your life, and that is living your life fully and doing what you've always wanted to do. Now I know that this can seem really vague. What does that mean? How do you even find what brings you joy? It's actually very simple. I think a lot of people, when they talk about doing what they love, there's this great question that a lot of people ask, which is, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? What would you do for fun? What would you do for work? That's a great question to ask to get the wheels turning, but I feel like it kind of misses something. I think the biggest question to ask yourself is, if nothing was wrong or bad, what would you do? And the reason I say that is, you don't have dreams of being a bank robber. You don't. Your dreams might be showing up on social media, might be putting yourself out there publicly in some way, might be doing something that other people think is weird or odd. We happen to live in an age of digital technology. So my theory is a lot more people are called to this than are currently doing it. So even if you have all the money in the world, you may still want to create content. You may want to put yourself out there in some way. You may want to talk about something that you're passionate about. This is super normal, which is why when I say do what you love, it can be difficult. You might love playing tennis. Well, maybe you don't want to play tennis 10 hours a day. Maybe there's something else you want to do. Maybe you want to paint and post those paintings on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Maybe you want to do some niche, post it on TikTok, Instagram, whatever it might be. It doesn't really matter. I just want to say social media might be a part of this, and in my opinion, it very likely is. It is the most natural thing in the world to want to share yourself with the world, your gifts, your talents, what you can do, what you're good at. This is normal, this is natural, so stop shaming yourself over it. I know there's a lot of people that would go ahead and say that people that do social media, they just want attention, but the people that I watch on social media, I'm so grateful to them. They've changed my life. I'm so grateful for what they put out there. Even people that I don't watch, I really respect that they are giving what they have to the world in social media. I think it's amazing, and I want you to reframe that too. If you do have some desire to put yourself out there on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it might be, that might be part of your path, and that is more than okay. The last thing I want to say is, so often I feel like we're waiting to live our lives. We're just sitting on the sideline, hoping that we'll eventually get pulled in, and really thinking that oftentimes a guy is going to pull us in. And I want you to know, that guy that you think is going to pull you off the sidelines, that crush that you think is going to change your life, it won't change anything. They can't save you anyway. There's no reason to obsess with them that they can for some reason save you from your life. No, they can't. No, they can't. One of the harshest truths, but also my favorite truths, is that no one is coming to save you. And this includes a crush. So whenever you find yourself obsessing over a crush, I just want you to remind yourself that this is getting old and it's boring, because there is some part of your energy that is aching to be put into your own life and doing something that you love. Your energy was not meant to go into imaginative situations with a crush that will likely never happen. Anyways, I hope this is helpful, because I know how having a crush can ruin your life and destroy you. And I want you to know that what's so interesting about these things that happen to us is it always shows something deeper. So it's always a really fun life lesson. It always is telling us something about ourselves. So it's something fun to investigate, not get mad at, that maybe having a crush is you just putting your precious energy into something that is never going to save you anyway. You don't have to wait for a crush to choose you. You can live your life fully now. And I think that's just the biggest message that you cannot hear enough, is that you need to do exactly what you want to do in your life. If you don't, no crush, no job, no friend group, no nothing will change that. You are the only one that can change that. And honestly, isn't it just getting old and boring sitting around waiting for your life to happen? I know I'm bored with it, and this is as much a message to you as it is to me, because I get caught in the same thing. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm wishing you the very best week, and I will talk to you very soon.